Hello everybody, I'm Rene from the EisBaer team from Germany, and I would like to show you a very cool feature of our EisBaer software suite, which is actually the HCL component, or human-centric lighting, or the other magical word is tunable white, which becomes quite commonly and widely used at the moment, and we have always a few things to look into. I know there are DALI gateways already out there which can do actually the tunable white calculation, so the temperature of the light actually during a course of a day or a period of time. With our component here in EisBaer, we have the ability to actually not only calculate color temperature for the DALI DTA devices, we are also able to use single ballasts, for instance, one for the warm white and one for the cold white, LED stripes or LED fittings, and also have them as a tunable white, working as a tunable white fitting, because we are calculating actually the dimming values for the individual channels. So you can see here on the right side, I just open up my the client, actually how it can look like, to show you a little bit around. So at the moment we do have the HCL component calculating the temperature for DTA devices, but we also have here the calculation for single ballast warm white and cold white channel. So I just show that to you by setting different color temperatures here manually. That is also part of our component, so you can actually run it completely automatically depending on sunrise and sunset. So that will give actually the time to the HCL component to start the calculation of the time. You can change this start and end time, you can stretch it, you can put it closer together and say I want to have the daylight circle during 4 hours, during 24 hours, during 48 hours, so you are free to actually create your own daylight cycle, and then it will automatically calculate the actual color temperature and also the percentage value which you have to give to the individual ballast. So if I switch now to manual color temperature, so I say here to 2700 Kelvin, then you see actually that we send the color temperature to the DTA devices, and we do have the calculation for the individual devices, which means now the warm white goes to 100%, the cold white goes to 0. Exactly the same if you go into the other direction, you say 6500 Kelvin, you see we send 6500 to the DTA devices, and we calculate actually the outputs for individual channels. So standard DALI ballast on a DALI line. So if we go to 4500, you see here now color temperature for DTA devices and individual percentages sent out to the individual ballast. So we can actually play that around, and you see it's always calculated actually for the standard devices as well. So what this component also has built in is a constant brightness control, so we can actually just not only calculating the output channels for the color temperature and the single devices, but if you're on a DTA device, you actually can link your constant brightness controller just to the brightness value input of the actual DALI device. With single channels, you are struggling a little bit. However, that is now built into this component. You can see actually if we are on automatic mode and we say constant brightness control is activated, then you see here the output is now 100% calculated into the or divided into the actual to mix the right color temperature. But if we have now the sensor, the brightness controller going back actually, then you see according to the color temperature the output will be actually calculated, and you can see that here as well. If I go to 50%, for instance, you can see that as well, or for I try 51%, and then I go back and say, okay, I want to have 6,500. Then you see actually it's calculated that the cold weight goes to 50%, so the actual brightness controller will have an effect on the output channels as well. And you see, if I go back to the lowest temperature, you see the 50% as well. So that's the same if you go now lower. You see it's always getting calculated according to the needed brightness in the room. And then now I just want to show you how that looks like in the editor, and I just want to show you a little bit more data point around this HCL component, the human-centric lighting component. So firstly, big thing of the EisBaer software suite is that we work after the principle, what you see is what you get. So that means you see here your workspace in the middle of the editor on the right screen actually, and you can see that exactly how you build it up, it later looks in the client software for your client. So here we have the HCL component, which is a graphical representation of this component, and you can actually see that in the left screen. You can't see actually these components because that is an invisible component only for the calculation of the HCL. So now we can actually open up the communication window, and here you see the actual data points which this HCL component provides. And you see here the data points are actually have a meaning. Green means an input into this component. So to control this component, as you see, a set manual value. Blue is always a bidirectional value, gives you actually the status of this data point, and also you can override it from the outside, and red always means an output out of these components. So now you see here our calculation, it's quite massively, so you do have the color temperature for DT8 devices, and you do have here the dimming value for the high color, so the cold white, and you do have the low color, and you get it actually if needed for different systems like BACnet or like ZigBee or like KNX. You can get it actually linear as a percentage value, or 0 to 255, and you can get a logarithmic if you talk directly to your DALI. You can get a logarithmic output for that as well, and the same here for the lower temperature, which is the warm white temperature. So here you can actually see that is the target value coming from your presence detector, which will then set the right output even you do have single devices. So that's for now. Have a look into it if you're interested into it. As you see, just while we're on it, you can actually set it up as a multiple language software as well. So you can, in the runtime, you can actually swap here between German, English, French. We do have Italian and Finnish as well, just to show you. It can go into Japanese, it can go into Korean, that actually every language you can imagine you can set it up to. And use this component to visualize your building, to build up connections between different systems. EisBaer is a multi-protocol gateway and has a lot of functionality built in. So if you're interested, then stay tuned. We will come back with some other component explanations that you get a little bit an idea what the EisBaer software can do for you. All right, I say thank you guys for watching this. Talk soon and stay safe.